Okay, so in this video, I'm going to tell you about my experiences with dream sharing. I don't think it's widely accepted, and everything I've found online told me that it's probably not possible or that it's not possible at all. But this is my experience. I had dream sharing. Um, it felt very possible because I had the experience. Um, and there's probably a lot of weird technicalities or scientific things of like, well, why did you have this? How did you have this? Is this even possible? But is this even possible? Isn't even an argument for me because I had it. So it's like, yeah, I had it. It's possible because it happened. Um, so yeah, this set the setting for whenever this happened. Um, so I was really in tune with myself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, I guess. I had just come from me and the person that I was with, we just came from a spiritual retreat, so it was really intensive. There's like all of our walls inside of ourselves were brought down. We had a lot of mental clarity, a lot of clarity for life, a lot of clarity for anything emotionally, our relationships that we had with our families. Like everything inside of us felt clean and whole. So maybe that's why our spiritual intuition was heightened, our dream, our lucid, our out of body intuition was heightened. So it was after a spiritual retreat we had just been to. It was me, her, and a couple of friends who were in this spiritual retreat. We went while we were in college. Um, and then another thing about the dream is the person that I had this dream sharing experience with is we were really close. So maybe that had something to do with it as well. Yeah, maybe it's easier to have dream sharing experiences with people that you're close to for some reason. Um, so basically, in the dream, I can't remember all of it because it happened so long ago, and I couldn't tell you their side of the dream entirely. But in the dream that I had, um, I remember we were in my dorm room that I was sleeping in. Um, and so we were in the dorm that I was sleeping in, and just one thing that I remember really vividly was there was like a dark presence, dark spirit maybe, um, over this person and like attacking this person, and this person was like in distress. I don't remember how they were in distress, but they were in distress. Like it was on top of them, they couldn't move, or it was like struggling to hold them down. Um, but all I remember in the dream was I went up to that presence, spirit, whatever it was, and I grabbed it and I held it against the wall, and I commanded it and I demanded something from it, and like basically told it to stop doing what it was doing, and it was against the wall. And as I was holding it, it transformed from whatever that weird, ugly image it was. Like it didn't look human, and then it turned into a human. Like it had a face, it had all the features, and then it looked terrified, and then it like disintegrated below my hand while I was like holding it against the wall, and like maybe the overwhelming sense of like my light from inside of me, whatever it is, overpowered this dark entity, spirit, presence. And so whenever I was putting myself on it, like towards it, it just like got destroyed, evaporated. Um, couldn't be there anymore because I was taking charge of the situation. Um, so yeah, I had it against the wall, and then that happened. Um, and so as soon as I did that, I woke up. I woke up out of my dream, and then I texted this person like, "Hey, I just had a crazy dream. Like, um, I'd slept in that day and stuff." And so I texted that person, and then the person texted me back, and they were like, "No way, I just had a crazy dream too." And so we met up, we talked about it, and it turns out that both of us were inside the same dream. And I thought it was just about that person, that I was like maybe gonna help them symbolically with something dark or anything like that. But what was actually happening is we were both asleep. She had just woken up too, and she had a similar dream, and there was a lot of parallels. It wasn't exact, but like the ending part where I was like holding it against the wall, she had that happen inside of her dream. And so, and we both woke up. She got the message for me, and then we were both like, "Whoa, crazy dream." And whenever we talked about it, the things that I was talking about, like in my dream, she was experiencing, like that dark spirit over her doing whatever it was doing to her. But I think hers was way more like chaotic, in the sense of like a lot of other stuff was going on as well. But whenever I I guess made my presence known and did what I did in my dream, it had a effect on her dream and what she was experiencing. And so yeah, I think that dream showed me the crossovers between um, maybe spiritual realities and dream experiences that you have. Um, and then something just kind of crazy just so happened to happen, because me and her were close, and we were just came out of a spiritual retreat, and it's the experience of a dream sharing experience. And even though it wasn't exactly spot on, it's like we were like two different waves happening in our own experience, and we'd meet at separate points and have similar experiences. And that separate point obviously was whenever I did that, and she experienced me doing that in her dream, and then her struggling. Like the ideas and the concepts were clicking and coming together as they were happening, maybe in the spiritual reality, in the dream world. But it was the closest thing I've had to a dream sharing experience, and it wasn't everything spot on like maybe how you see in the movie Inception, but there was a lot of parallels and a lot of connects. And I think maybe if you were to keep on with the spiritual cleanliness, like from the spiritual retreat, and then also being close to the person that you're having these dream experiences with, maybe at some point it could get to the place of where you're actually experiencing entire dreams together, and to where everything is exact. But I think that would take a lot of effort, and that would take a lot of time and a lot of meditation, praying, healing, becoming close to that person. But yeah, that was my dream sharing experience, and I think that's why it happened. Those two things, because of the spiritual retreat and because we were close. And I think a lot of like the stuff I found online, it said it's not possible, and people would say there's no scientific proof. Like, how can that be? But stuff like that, like, it doesn't really phase how I think about it, because it's like the way we approach things scientifically is true for physical phenomenon, but how I understand it is physics, I think, only explains physics, and those hard sciences only explain the visible universe. And to my understanding, there's only 5% of the universe that's the visible universe. Everything else is dark matter and dark energy, and there's really no science to understand how any of that works. So I feel like there's a lot of things that we don't know, and it's maybe inside of those other types of matter and energy. I don't know. Nobody knows. But I'm just saying that to say that there's 95% of the universe that isn't explained. And I think that means there's a lot more that we don't know that's going on than what we do know. And the stuff that we do know, like, we know very well. But yeah, stuff like dark matter, dark energy, 95% of the known universe can't even be explained with science, and much less consciousness and like being itself. So yeah, I'm not too worried about the ideas of it not being possible or not being scientifically proven, because most of everything else isn't. So yeah, anyways, that was my dream sharing experience. Yeah, maybe I could experience that more in the future. That'd be really cool.